We do have our senior reporter, John Palmentary, live on scene, who has been monitoring the fire from his area, and he's going to have the latest right now.
Well, we've been out here since the pre-dawn hours, and now we're getting showered with big black embers coming up from this fire. But there's good news. The winds are light, the temperatures are calm, and the fire spread is a terrain-driven fire, not as aggressive as we saw yesterday afternoon with those driving winds and those 50 to 60-foot flame lengths. Let's take a look in the hillside here. This is east of Refugio State Beach. We're on Highway 101, which is closed, as you say, and there was a ribbon of fire there. You see just the tail end of it right now that just ran up that slope and started burning into that brush, and it's actually extended back up and deeper into the canyon. We see 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 hot spots up in that area, which are now a concern running up that hill. But as far as the spread of the fire, it's been in that bowl now for at least 2 hours this morning since we've been out here, and it continues to just churn away in there. We can hear the crackling way out here on Highway 101. Of course, there's no cars going by, so we have a good audio to hear that fire just work its way and start to carve its way up that hill. But it's not spreading wildly like it did yesterday. It did have a big run in some thick stuff, and now we're getting showered with some black embers. You've heard of the burning ring of fire. This is a burning ribbon of fire that's going up there, maybe about 500 yards long, all the way down to the base of that canyon. Fire officials are watching this careful. They've got crews in there. They're getting set for the air attack, and that's going to be the big show that starts in the next hour with fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters. They'll make the call about what they need and how much they will put on this fire, but there's no doubt they want to get the upper hand on this as this day starts with the conditions just ripe to start the attack mode on this fire and try and snuff it out. They have no time to waste to try and put this thing out with the big footprint that it has this morning. That could spread in all directions. As you know, these embers jumping canyon to canyon and what doesn't have very good access in there. We have Refugio Road and some of the ranch roads, but truly this is the wild Gaviota coastline that is not developed with roads or in many areas. So we're in an area east of Refugio State Beach and west of El Capitan State Beach. Now look at this. This ribbon of fire that just died down wakes up again, and it starts to show some new sign of life there. This has really been an interesting dynamic following it on that ridge line. And as it goes right to left, well, you're going to lose it in the trees, but just below that there is a barn or another ranch structure down below. Fire officials are aware of that. If it were to come towards us, towards the freeway, here you'll see we have some tall trees, eucalyptus and other mixed trees here, and also some power lines, and that's never comforting to be around when fire is burning, that's for sure. Now we've got a lot going up in the air, so you're going to wake up and see the sky all over southern Santa Barbara County with that rust color this morning. In the Goleta Valley, you're seeing it, and we definitely are inhaling a lot of smoke and some burning ashes falling down out of that sky this morning, and that's where we find ourselves watching this fire take its shape for the morning. The fire officials are certainly meeting at this hour, hopefully watching some of these images. They're getting their game plan together, and I can assure you in the next short period of time we're going to see some active firefighting from the air, and they'll be launching from a couple of locations. The Santa Maria Airport is where they fuel up with Phos-Chek, and also the San Ynez Airport. The helicopters will launch from there, and we'll see how the attack goes in this particular area. That's the very latest east of Refugio State Beach. This is the Sherpa Fire, and it's awake and active this morning. I'm John Palmentary reporting live on the scene.
John, how close are you to the freeway, and how close is the fire to the freeway? That's kind of the big story right now. People are going to be heading out, going to work here. It's 6:07, and the freeway's shut down. How close is that, and is there any indication from people out there when it may be reopening?
So we're in the northbound lanes of Highway 101. We are on the freeway ourselves, and if you look over, we've got some media that's come up from out of the area, and they're on the other side of the fence line on that service or access road, and then the fire would be beyond that into the canyon, at least a mile, about a mile. It's hard to tell sometimes. There's so many active little spot fires in there, but that's where it is. It's not up to the edge of the freeway at all right now, nor is it really moving this way at any great rate, because we've been out here for a while and it stays up in that bowl, and it's basically been going to the west as opposed to coming down towards the waterfront and the ocean. So that's where we find ourselves this morning, and that's what the fire's doing.
All righty, John, thank you very much. You're looking at great images right there. If we can go back and pop up the aerial shots. This is of the Sherpa Fire, 1,100 acres, and that was that number from 7 hours ago. So as this morning we start to get new updates that it's got to be maybe even double in size. We just don't know yet, but it's certainly going to be larger than 1,100 acres as we go this morning. A lot of white smoke, which is usually a good sign, but there's still a lot of vegetation out there, as you can see, and this shot was just zooming in a couple of minutes ago on what looks like a building that is pretty close to where these flames are heading. You can see the ridgeline there. It's going to be heading down in the next couple of minutes as it continues to move forward there.
Marching straight towards the ocean, but as we watched it go up the hillside, it grew in intensity. And Meredith, we're going to turn things over to you because we want you to tell us about the conditions, probably a little different than from in the canyon till when we get to the top of the hill.